Okay, it is, what day of the week is this? This is Wednesday, September 9th, 2020, if you will, and it is 12:15 in the afternoon, and this is my vlog for today. I did not think I was going to get to do a vlog, and the reason I didn't think I would be able to is due to my having a ton of stuff to do today. But the lovely Linda is in the house taking a nap. I'm out in my non-air conditioned office. It got a little chilly today, so I got a vest on. It's rainy. The internet wasn't working. Finally it decided to start functioning. Hopefully this will get uploaded after I do this vlog. I've got to do a broadcast. What I want to talk to you about today is simple survival. Now, unless the government does something drastic very rapidly, we're going to have about 40 million homeless people in the United States. We've got a smidgen of that right now, not even a million homeless probably, but the problem is the mortgage companies can only hold off so long, and it is patently illegal for the federal government to tell a bank they can't foreclose. The government does not, you have regulators, banking regulators, but you can't force a bank just to give money away. They tried that in Zimbabwe, which used to be Rhodesia. I have a friend named Kathy Buckle that lives in Zimbabwe. She and her husband at one time had a farm, and Robert Mugabe's government took the farm away from them and gave it to some other folks that happened to be black. They tried to get all the white people, the Caucasians, out of Zimbabwe. It didn't take, and they have found that by hamstringing, or in other words, severely limiting, also taking away farmland from people that actually grow food, didn't work. It's not a matter in reality of black versus white or white versus black. It is to Robert Mugabe's crew, and now the second government they've put into place that they voted on and thought they would go back to having a decent government turned out to be just as corrupt as their predecessor. Simple survival. What do I mean by that? Let me get a sip and I'll tell you. Simple survival is if you've got some food to eat and you do have a place to sleep, even if it's in your car or in a tent, then you are surviving. Now, I'm not advocating buying the cheap tents at Walmart, but if you don't have money, that might be your only option. So how do you make that tent a little more insulated against cold weather? Because we're getting ready to roll into cold weather. Here's what you can do. First, you go buy you some water bottles. Not heating pads, but they're hot water bottles. They're brown. They're like a bladder. You pour hot water in them and put the lid on, and you can use that to stay warm in a sleeping bag, even if all you have is a cheap sleeping bag. That, and go buy extra blankets. I mean, if you got to get them from a second-hand store, Goodwill, Salvation Army, whatever. These aren't to go on the inside of your tent. They're to go over the outside, and then what you do is you find a tarp. And this is something you do not need to be cheap on. You buy a good tarp. They don't cost that much more than the cheap ones. Find you something for tent pegs other than what you're using to hold your tent up, and you stake that tarp. A good tarp will be thicker, it'll be large enough to drape over your tent, and it'll have grommets in the edges so you can stake it down. Now, the reason for draping the blankets over your tent, it adds insulation. You put the tarp over that, then you can stake the tarp down over the top of the tent, and that will add insulation and a dead air space to also help insulate, and it will make that tent a whole lot warmer. You can't put a fire inside your tent. You don't want to use a propane heater, plus you're probably not going to be able to get propane if things get as bad as they may. And a propane heater would asphyxiate you. It would rob your oxygen. But what you can do is build a campfire in front of your tent and bank it higher on the side away from your tent so it directs the heat toward your tent, and you open your tent up and allow that heat to draft into your tent. And always keep one person, take shifts if you need to, that an adult is awake to keep the fire going. You need a way to defend yourself. I talked about the slingshot. Here it is again. That's good for hunting small game, but in a real situation where you need to defend your family, probably the best thing you can get, if you've got the money to get it, is a pump shotgun, a good one. You can get a brand new one for around $300, preferably 12 gauge. And take it and shoot it. I have a bad right shoulder. My left one isn't too hot either. I've got a plate holding my left shoulder blade together. I've been rode hard, put up wet. And I have several guns. My favorite rifle I got is a 30-30, and I've got the factory installed recoil pad on it, and then I put another one that you can slip over that I bought. So it gets it to where a guy with bad shoulders like me can still shoot the thing. And it still kicks some, but not bad like it was. The other high-powered rifles we have, you better hold on. And you never have the thing away from your shoulder. You put that rifle butt right up against your shoulder. It's the same thing with a pump shotgun. Now, this is the only survival clue I'm going to give today. I will try to do it again tomorrow. But folks, like I said, I'm really busy right now. God bless you, and I mean that. I love you, and I mean that. And as always, be kind.